Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mage,
And this is Mog.
and this is a custom FML game. We're going to start at the 3 o'clock position with Juan, one of our newest players. He's a well-known solo player, though, and should add an interesting element to the game. Okay, give me one moment to try and adjust this.
Sorry, that was going to be a really tough cast if I heard everything
Do you have the stream
echo
open?
through. Oh, that is why. I
Okay.
totally forgot I had it on.
Sorry, moving
Okay,
through this.
so-
In the bottom right corner, we have Persuade playing Night Elf. In the bottom left corner, we have Renaud playing Human, which is his original race. And it'll be interesting to see him not play Night Elf for a little while, but that's good because we didn't want three. And in the top left, we have Redkeekee. So we have interesting spawns with 2 surrounds and 2 open spots that should be easy expos for Redkeekee and Juan.
Yes, definitely. And Juan is known as a very aggressive solo player, so we'll see if he takes advantage of the spawn or if he decides to just go straight out for Persuade.
I'm guessing that he'll probably go for Persuade. Interestingly enough, on a match last season, Sechi, who's also an Undead player and plays pretty similar to Juan, I believe, managed to solo out Persuade, but he gave him a pretty good fight, so Persuade is not going to be a pushover if Juan does go in. And it looks
No.
like... Go ahead.
I was just going to say Persuade is definitely a good player. He's got good micro. He tends to get teamed pretty often because of he wins a lot of fights.
Let's just going to go through a little heroes. It looks like we've got pretty standard, although Persuade is going for a Warden, possibly taking up Renaud's spot since he's playing Human, but we've got a Death Knight for Juan, we have a Archmage for Renaud, and a Demon Hunter for Redkeekee. Redkeekee is going for a typical Ancient of War open with 1 Archer, so that'll give him a pretty easy expo there. I'm sure that, yep, we've got the Militia Creep coming in, and then he'll go for a quick expo for Renaud as well. And Persuade is also going for the Ancient of War Creep, however, he's going for the easy green first instead. And thank you to DFM, I will now say Archmage.
Just want to get the proper pronunciation going here.
Fair enough, although I'm pretty sure I pronounced half the things wrong.
It's true.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, a lot of things we pronounce wrong are people's names, and who the hell knows what they actually want us to say. So,
Fair enough.
so the Warden first is really interesting. Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen Persuade use Warden first in a single game before, and I've seen a lot of his games. So this should be interesting here. Other than that, we have pretty standard creeping going on. Redkeekee is the first to throw down his expansion, which is pretty typical for him. And everyone else should follow shortly.
Yep, and interestingly enough, Redkeekee is going to try and probably get his second expansion early. He's figured out that he's got an easy second expo there, and that should go pretty quickly. Renaud is going to lose this militia, unfortunately. Maybe not. He does not lose it. And Persuade is making good use of the other illusion by not having anybody attack it whatsoever. So it's doing pretty much nothing right now. Maybe he'll use it later on, but he's got that expo up as well.
And let's see. Dark Flame Master wants me to break down how to beat Juan in his first FML match. My answer to you is I have no idea.
Interestingly enough, Persuade actually chose a pretty good strategy, I think, here of telling Juan that Persuade was surrounded and he shouldn't hit him. We'll see if that works, but maybe friendly hints and stuff like that. On the other hand, he may just decide he can 3v1 everybody, and that may actually be possible at points.
Right. I shouldn't be disrespectful, but solo players in the past, especially with very strong solo players, tend to have the mindset that they can just win any fight because of their micro. So we'll see. He might attack into this round. I would not be surprised at all.
No, that's true. Redkeekee does have his second expo up, which is good. Juan is putting up his first currently, so everybody's got at least 1 expo going up, and Juan is indeed attacking Persuade now. You are correct, and
Yes.
We'll see how this goes. The Warden is going to be somewhat crippling for him. DH would have been much better in this position, I think, and Persuade does not actually save that expo. He loses all the gold.
That's a very big deal with no expansion this early in the game. 23 supply, you need that gold. If Juan actually kept hitting, I think Persuade would have just died right there.
I think you're probably correct. However, he is just one creep away from getting his level 3 Death Knight, so maybe thinking to go get the market for an easy one, or he may just be picking up another rod. We'll have to see where that goes. But Persuade does pick up level 3 on the Warden, which should be pretty advantageous for him. It should be at least a lot more helpful than the level 2 was.
Yeah, and I just want to talk about, I could be wrong here, but by canceling that expansion for Juan, I don't know if he's thinking this, but to me it looks like he wants to cancel that, get his own expansion up. That way he can come back and hit Persuade while he has the gold advantage and the creeping advantage, if that makes sense.
I think that's
Like, he
probably
feels like
correct.
He feels like now, because he canceled that expansion, he's going to have an easy time killing Persuade pretty early on in this game.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. He is building another Fiend now, and if he decides to go for the typical solo 50 food Fiend push with the Lich, then he's probably just in the solo mindset. However, if he continues this tech, then he may actually go for maybe a Garg build. I'm not sure. I've never seen Juan play Garg, so I'm not sure how good he is with that, but we'll have to see. In other news, Redkeekee does have the second expansion just finishing up now, so he's going to be in good shape. He's got that level 3 Demon Hunter with 3 archers. He's just finished the tech to tier 2, so he should be feeling pretty comfortable right now. Renaud has just gotten his second hero. It's a Mountain King, and he's currently abusing the water cows. And Juan has come in here and decided to steal one of the creeps from Persuade, and he got a great item on that with the Parafit of Vitality. So he's probably going to be in pretty good shape. I think DFM brings up, I'm not sure I can even call it a good point. It may be stating the obvious, but he's most likely going to go ahead and go cancel this expo again.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think he'll commit to an actual killing blow until his second hero is out, which is still, a ways away. He's only halfway through his tech. But this is really giving Redkeekee the perfect position in this game. He's able to creep the middle. He has 2 expansions going. He's hoarding. Things could not have started better for him at this point.
And here comes the attack on the expo. I'm not entirely sure why Persuade has not envisioned that this is going to happen more. Putting up some Ancient Protectors might have been a good choice there. And yeah, I guess he's just got to focus down the Death Knight currently. He doesn't have much else in the terms of options.
No, and I mean, he's going to chase him away for now, but this is just setting up for the inevitable of Juan just overrunning him here in the near future. Persuade's, unless he pulls a miracle here.
Let's see, does he have one more?
He might get it.
No, Juan's going to be able to pick up a potion, I think. Yep, there it is. And it looks like, yeah, Juan is, it'll be interesting to see if Juan breaks 50. That's kind of the first true test of a solo player and whether or not they're getting free-for-all is their macro for breaking 50 and breaking 80.
Yeah, I don't think he'll break 50. Even in solo, with a position like this, he should realize he can kill Persuade while staying under 50. But we'll see what he does here. On the other side of the map, we have Renaud is creeping decently well. So is Redkeekee. They're both just kind of minding their own business. I would like to see a little bit more scouting for both of them, so they at least know what's going on.
Yep. And it's interesting that Redkeekee is going for the green creeps now when there's still 3 middle reds untouched. That's really not seen very often at this point in the game, and those items could be make or break later on. I'd like to see that Ancient of War be uprooted and move towards the middle. And let's see, does anybody even have a Shredder at this point?
Yeah, Redkeekee has his Shredder, and I saw someone else get one. I think it was Persuade. No, it must have died.
I don't see Redkeekees anywhere.
It's right here.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not sure what happened. I saw someone grab one earlier. I thought it was either Persuade or... Oh, there's Renaud's. Yeah, at his expansion.
And here we go with Renaud trying to take down the bottom left red, and Juan is at 49, so he's doing that properly. And he'll get one of the reds and probably pick up the top right red as well, if my guess is correct.
I'm going to go with, after this creep, he's going to go attack. But we'll
Ooh,
see.
nice item. Django of
That is
Endurance.
very
That should
good.
make Undead completely uncatchable. And, ooh, a good chance for Persuade to possibly jack Juan here. Maybe go after a kill on one of the heroes. He's probably not in position to actually take a straight-up fight at this point, but maybe do a little bit of damage at least.
Yeah, I think Persuade's gonna have to back up. He does not have even close to the army he needs to fight this.
No. Let's see. What item did Renaud? Renaud got an Orb of Darkness, so not exactly what he wanted. But he does
what you're
have
hoping
the
for.
Legion Doomhoom at least, so that's something. And here comes a nice three-way fight possibly, although Renaud may decide to just back up and get the hell out and not piss off Juan.
I don't know if you can piss off Juan. I feel like he's gonna attack you anyways.
Possibly, but he might go to you in the middle anyway. I mean,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it's hard to tell. Haven't
Renaud
seen enough
definitely
games
wants
of
to
him to really
creep.
know.
that's true.
Juan is
Renaud's
also
definitely got the
extremely-
best creeping going on here. RKK's I'm kind of disappointed. He should have taken the red at the top, in my opinion. He's been untouched. He could have been hoarding another expansion
Yeah, I've got to
for a
agree.
while. Yeah.
And he doesn't have the items that he'd like to have. And
No,
it looks
or
like
the
you're right.
hero
You don't
levels.
have to piss off Juan. He's just going to go ahead and wreck you no matter what.
I think Renaud did get a good item though. He got the Legion Doomhorn, so he got what he wanted. At least he didn't get another Orb of Darkness.
He actually got the... I don't know if he picked up the Staff of Silence or the Gem of Health from those, but he's got a few good items there.
Oh, you're
and
correct.
Redkeekee... Redkeekee could lose that Keeper. Yep, down it goes, and... Come on, Staff
And the
something out
Demon
here.
Hunter. Yeah, come on.
There we go. I was going to say, you do not want to mess with Juan in silly little cute micro situations.
Look how fast Juan's army is because of his auras.
Yeah, that panda could have to TP out. Let's see. Not quite
He
enough
should have
mana on
to.
it. Nope, and he leaves it alone.
Yeah, Darkflame Master brings up a good point. In this season, actually, we have a lot of players like this. A lot more, I think, than the past few seasons, where we have a big influx of new solo players that have switched over to free-for-all to some degree. And
Yeah.
almost in every matchup in the first round, you have at least one player who is probably
Kind
just
of a
going to attack
wild
everything
card.
in sight. Yeah, so
And Persuade's coming in here. He manages to take off one Fiend, and let's see. Ooh, good dust there. That'll help him out. And Juan is actually forced to TP out here due to Renaud going ahead and hitting him too. Persuade, I
kill.
think, grabbed that kill, but I'm not positive. And Juan is probably wondering at this point why they're double teaming him and not realizing that he shouldn't go ahead and hit all those people. So Juan, if you happen to listen to this, a little diplomacy can't hurt.
yeah, and let's take a look at the goal counts here. It's pretty much exactly what you'd expect. RKK is the only person with a good goal count. He's up to 5,000.
Renaud
And,
has already broken 50 though and is going to 72. I'm not entirely sure who he's going to try and break out on though.
Well, I would think he'd go to Redkeekee,
That would make sense, but
but he's going to the top. Yeah, he's definitely going to go to Redkeekee. He's assuming that Green has these expansions up top, and he's about to find out he only has one
he
of
does
them.
have this flying machine up here scouting it. And this could be a good chance to take down that Keeper of the Grove again. Let's see. Although, is he trying to play nice or
This
what?
is interesting. Yeah, it looks like he's trying to play nice, but nope, not anymore.
Yeah, the Keeper of the Grove will live. Don't be too sad, DFM.
Well, a level 1 Keeper of the Grove, 500 hit points. Eesh. Oh, good pun.
That was a terrible pun. It did make me laugh, but that was awful.
I'm a sucker for puns.
Alright, and Renaud is going to grab his third Dark Red of the game, and Persuade is managing to grab his first up top. Let's see. Does not look like any particularly interesting items. He did get the Pendant of Mana, I believe, on this one. So that could be helpful on the Warden, although the Warden will need to get some mana back at some point to do anything. Juan has still stayed 50, though, so that's good for him. DFM mentioned earlier that there'd be a knee-jerk 100, which is a good prediction. But I'm glad to see that Juan has not fallen into it and is instead getting this second expo. Persuade may end up just being a pain in the ass to Juan, though, since Juan hit him so early on, and Juan may actually have to go to 80 to try and take him out, since he will have a large gold advantage.
Yeah, I was just going to note, Persuade is still trying to get his first expansion up. At this point in the game, that's almost
Pretty
not
deadly.
recoverable. Yeah, it's going to be very hard for him to have any chance in this game.
Still assuming down goes the keeper, unfortunately. I was going to say he was doing pretty decently well. He actually does not have a teleportation scroll anywhere, though. This could be...
Yeah, he's going to lose everything here.
Yeah, this, I don't want to call it, but this is pretty much game, I think, for him. He can stay around to be a nuisance to Juan, most likely, however, unless something seriously different happens. Going over to Redkeekee's base, he is now pumping. Renaud has, in fact, broken on Redkeekee like we thought he would. The Chimeras only have level 1 armor right now, which versus 3 tanks could be somewhat annoying, although the tanks are kind of taking all the damage up front from the Panda. So nice job by Redkeekee on that one, but the base is definitely going down pretty hard right now.
Yeah, Renaud's doing a good job. Redkeekee did have a lot of production buildings, which is good for him. If he had a few less Chimera roosts, he could have been in trouble. He's gonna hold here just fine, I think. Oh, maybe that Demon Hunter might go down.
I think he'll be alright, but it's not going to help him, and Renaud's going to be in a good position to just come right back at him later on.
And Dark Flame Master does have a good point. Redkeekee doesn't have any wells in the back half of his base. This is kind of strange to see a good Night Elf too. You don't want to clump them all at the front, because if you get tanked like this, or you get broken on really with any race, you run a big risk of getting supply blocked.
Yep, exactly. And in addition, he's going to have all these Chimeras that have half or a quarter health, assuming he micros them properly. And when Renaud comes back, then he's not going to have any good way to save those Chimeras after. And Redkeekee is crying dead already, despite the fact that he has 5,000 gold.
And 6 Chimeras still.
Yeah, and 3 more waiting in the roosts. But Renaud is doing a really good job of supply blocking Redkeekee right now. I'm not sure if Redkeekee is currently thought of it, but he should probably go ahead and build some extra wells at other bases.
Yeah, he definitely should.
Doing a nice job over here with that 1 tank low, killing hopefully the tree and not the AOW after.
And interesting chat going on here. Renaud, because of his lack of scouting, has not realized Persuade's situation. And this is going to be very costly for him, because he's expecting, I think that he's expecting to kill Redkeekee and then team Juan with Persuade. Which could happen, but Persuade doesn't really have much to help him with 200 gold and 1 expansion that just finally got up. It's going to be tough.
Ooh, Juan picks up the Dark Ranger third. I like that choice. So Silence should go pretty well versus Renaud. I'm presuming Renaud will be in a good position. Yep, Demon Hunter goes down, and that Panda is pretty low. And the big problem here is that Redkeekee does not have anything to dispel slow with on the Chimeras. I'd like to see a Wisp detonate on them in order to get rid of that.
Yeah, that would be helpful right now. He's got the lumber. And he has the army. If he dispels slow, he should be able to kill these casters if you focus them really quickly. He has enough chims. Sorry, chimeras. To
whatever.
Yeah, I just did that for Dark Flame Master's sake. I didn't want him to correct me on the stream.
Too bad he's been correcting us all game.
Pull a Mage right there.
Alright, so it does look like Redkeekee will get out of this, okay? Nice staff on the MK there. Let's see Paladin heal the Archmage. There we go. Archmage gets out of it. Paladin should be fine. I did not see many staffs of silence. I'm not sure if that's just because there wasn't a good opportunity to do it, or if that was he forgot about it. But I believe Renaud has at least 1, if not 2, and kind of completely missed this fight up here. But it looks like Juan just took care of Persuade pretty easily. Persuade had to TP out, and he does finally have a expansion up, but he's sitting at 58, and he's probably got to try and go 80, but it doesn't really work. And Redkeekee is whining again. Shocking.
Well, I don't want to be rude, but I feel like every time Redkeekee gets rushed out, that person that's rushing him out apparently rushes him every game. I don't know.
Maybe there's some backstory that we don't know about. However, Renaud is implementing a pretty nice, I can't even call it rush right now. However, he's doing it pretty well. Nice defend by Redkeekee, saving that tree. Did everything right there, uprooted it, and just focused down the tanks without losing any chimeras.
Yeah, and at this point, while Renaud did have a successful attack, I think Renaud should be scouting here. He needs to scout and see the position of the other players. Juan is in a very dominating position right now, and this is going to be a bad move for Juan, though. He's about to hit Renaud's expansion.
I think he's probably going to go ahead and kill both Redkeekee and Renaud. And he's got this kind of solo player composition of this army currently. He's got a lot of fiends. The destroyer is nice, and the worm may be useful, maybe not. But hopefully, after these fiends die off, he'll decide to go with something else.
Here comes Rambo. That's true. I was gonna say a more experienced free-for-all player, or at least maybe a more passive one, would see this and continue to just kill Persuade and continue to bank at 50 and get the gold advantage because the other two players aren't scouting properly. Judging from the chat, he should know Redkeekee's been dying.
And I'm not sure he's actually paying attention to the chat whatsoever.
That's true. Apparently he's not
deigned to comment on anything. And he has now made enemies out of all three players pretty quickly here. Down goes the Archmage. And that's going to hurt Renaud. Renaud is definitely going to piece with RKK now, but this is going to feed Juan up pretty well. Let's see if that Death Knight is in any trouble.
Gosh.
It is. Let's see. Does he TP out? Does he TP? Ooh, good save. Ooh, nice invulnerability. Well done there. And down goes Paladin.
Yeah, I was going to
say...
well
done by Juan there just from the fight.
The Paladin staffed the Mountain King, but the Paladin didn't have a teleport, and the Mountain King did. So I think Renaud should have just TP'd out.
Probably so. Probably wasn't thinking about that. Looking down here, though, this Death Knight could go down a nice... Ooh, well done. But it
really good
could
timing
be in
here.
trouble here. Yep. A solid TP out here. So Juan doing very well in the micro game, but not quite as well on the not pissing every other player off game.
Yeah, and these tanks are going to start hitting the expansions up top while Juan is busy protecting his natural against Persuade. And this is a golden opportunity for Redkeekee to get back in the game. He's going to be ignored here for the foreseeable future.
And Juan is leading a little too much with the Death Knight currently, but down goes the Warden. So Juan has got this hero sniping down to a science. These bears are going to go down pretty quickly. Level 6 for the Death Knight, that doesn't do a whole lot, but he does have 4/4, and the Lich is about to hit 5.
And he does have Death Pact also on his Death Knight. He used it earlier in the fight.
Okay, so that was a good choice, and probably sacrificed his ultimate for it instead.
Yeah.
And this tower rush is going to be rather ineffective, I believe. Although, those worms are losing some health to the slow poison. It looks like he's going to split his army off here. Nope, never mind, ignore me. But he is saving his Necropolis, however, it will not be in time. Renaud will lose the 3 tanks, but he should manage to save the mine. Yep, so the mine should be in safe hands. As I'm saying that, it may turn out to be false, but there we go. Yep.
He's fine.
Came in for that save. Let's see if anything else will go down here.
Not sure what Renaud is doing. This is too small of an army to do anything on the other side of the map.
And Persuade is just making an absolute nuisance out of himself, kind of what we expected at this point. I'm not sure if he will... I presume he's still going to try and rebuild his way into the game, and he thinks the only way to do that is to take Juan out, and he's probably correct on that front. However, his heroes are not particularly threatening currently.
If I were Persuade, I'd be thinking, you need to get the other 2 players to help you against Juan, which he pretty much successfully has. And once Juan's dead, the other 2 are going to focus on each other, allowing Persuade to hopefully get back into the game. At least that's what I'm thinking is going on in his head.
Juan is cracking me up right now. I think he realizes exactly what he did and why he's getting it. He just doesn't really care. Yeah, and to go back to DFM's question earlier, yes, Juan does speak English, and he speaks it very well. I was talking to him earlier today. I don't know. This was kind of the falling out that Germany had earlier on, too, though, was this split war in World War II, and then down it went. So maybe Juan's just following his heritage. They think they can just take out everyone. Yeah. And it works up to a point, but late game, that's the problem. The Germans don't know how to macro properly.
No, he has a decent bank, but he's got no lumber. He's got everyone pissed off at him. And, 5.6k or 6K. It's not really. It's not enough to effectively 3 versus 1 people.
No, it isn't, and especially 3 versus 1 early on like this. Had it been late game and he was in a dominating position, it might be a little bit different. Because as you can see, Juan's actually not really losing any units right now. He is losing mana and health, obviously, but the most important thing is he's going to be losing his expos as well.
Yeah, Redkeekee should be able to kill both the top expansions, and well, we'll see here. Persuade should just hoard this one mine and the rest of his main mine, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not really sure I agree with this move from Redkeekee. If it was a different player, he might think that there'd be some easy experience going on. However, you don't really want to fight Juan, and Redkeekee is in a perfect position to kind of just get overlooked right now. And that panda gets saved. Nice save by Redkeekee there. But as I was saying, I don't think that I'm not entirely positive that this was the right move for him. He's a great player, but everybody makes mistakes now and then, and we'll see how it goes after this fight. Maybe he'll surprise me here, but he does have seriously detrimental hero levels, and as Juan has proven, he's likely to attack whoever he wants whenever he wants, so if Persuade and Renaud were hitting him, he might just overlook Redkeekee for a while.
Right. It's I can see why he did that. Like you said, he does have incredibly low hero levels, and you know, if you can kill a few expansions, maybe kill a few towers, the Alkalight's there, he could have gotten some free experience. Maybe he thought Juan was busy fighting the other two.
Possibly true. And it turns out it doesn't really make a huge difference either way. Looking around, Renaud has some really good items going on right now. He's got his Archmage up to 1,000 hit points with a Amulet of Spell Shield. The Mountain King has 1,350 hit points, and the Paladin has that Staff of Silence. He's also got 1,000 hit points at level 3. It looks like he's the only one that's really taking advantage of the shop so far. Redkeekee is still running around with this Cloak of Flames on him. He probably could have sold that off earlier, or inspect it for immolation if he wanted to.
Oh, Panda.
He's also going back for Juan now, so we'll see how this goes. Juan has gone up to 100, and this could be a very interesting fight if Juan fights Redkeekee at 100 versus 80.
Well, I assume Redkeekee's going to teleport out.
That would be a smart thing to do for sure, yeah. So Renaud is also going 100. I'm not sure who he's going 100 on, and he's apparently having issues keeping track of all of his units, which, you know, it's hard, we understand. But Persuade is quietly staying at 50 here, so this could be a great move for him. He's still got, it looks like, 13,000 gold left in his mines.
Oh, that's a good one, Dark Flame Master. But, yeah, Renaud, this is kind of an interesting move to kill Redkeekee.
And here comes Juan onto Redkeekee. I'm not surprised they chose this, and...
Well, now it's perfect for Renaud, because they're going to fight here.
Yep.
Redkeekee's going to be injured, and then Renaud's going to kill him.
And Redkeekee has gone for a pure Chimera army here, which really you shouldn't be able to do versus most players. However, the fact that Juan has gone for pretty much a pure air army as well means that he's going to be able to just focus down these heroes with impunity. However, he's going to have to TP back into his base, and he's not going to have the right army to fight Renaud whatsoever.
Yeah,
yep, there we go. And
I was going to say
Redkeekee is not going to be a good position. He's got 8,000 gold, but this is really going to hurt him, and he's used up all the Moonwells pretty much so far.
We should be seeing some
Demon Hunter is
Mage.
going down now. There we go. One down, and 5-4-3 for Renaud still, but he might be able to get 6 out of this if everything goes well for him. Juan, interestingly enough, is hitting Renaud while Redkeekee is being hit by Renaud. So we've kind of got a cyclical effect going on here with Persuade finally building an army. But down goes that Tree of Eternity. That's not going to last. And the Keeper of the Grove is about to go down right now. Yep. There it goes. That Panda's also got a TP on it, but is not in good position.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Redkeekee is just not in good position right now.
No, he's going to die here. All of his expansions are down. He's got a lot of gold in the bank, but he's not going to have any infrastructure. And he's going to rage. He already kind of is. But looking at this from Renaud's point of view, it's actually a really great decision because he's going to kill Redkeekee. Juan is still a really big threat, but
Persuade is going to be very likely to take out Juan, yeah.
Persuade will definitely team with Renaud. And Renaud's in a good position. He's got decent
I gotta
heroes.
agree. Renaud is playing a great game right now. And the fact that Juan is hunting down all the expos for Redkeekee currently is helping him out even more because Redkeekee won't be able to rebuild. Despite the fact that Redkeekee is dying with 8,000 gold effectively.
Persuade doesn't realize that Redkeekee is totally dead. As you can see from the observers only chat.
Possibly. But he might be saying that Redkeekee actually had time to expand early on, though.
Yeah.
So, Juan is just sitting at 1,000, but he does have 3 expansions. Persuade is going for 100 now. So, actually, I guess he's got to do it. He doesn't have heroes, and he's got to be ready for Juan to take him on. But he's really going to be hurt pretty badly by this, and Renaud has more gold than the two of them put together currently, and will almost certainly get Persuade to help him team Juan out, or at least team Juan down effectively. So
yeah, and I really disagree with Persuade's going 100 here. He could have kept hoarding. Renaud is going to be focusing. I mean, if for instance Juan did attack Persuade could easily call for help, and Renaud would presumably go to help him, kind of taking advantage of the situation there. Because now he's putting himself in a position where he's really doesn't have much chance to win this game.
I think he's going for a sneak attack here on Juan. Juan does only have 1 citadel in his base, and this could really hurt him. So Persuade might know what he's doing here, actually, which I hate to admit it, but you never know.
Well, I don't know, because even this move here, to me, this looks like a move that's going to significantly cripple Juan, but just give Renaud the win.
That's possibly true. He did not get Juan TP'd back a lot faster than Persuade expected, I'm guessing. That was pretty nice right there. And DFM is joking about the hacks. However, Persuade mistakenly brought the Chimeras into Juan's view early on, so I'm guessing he was probably expecting that. Or he's just got a quick trigger finger.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with he just has a quick trigger finger. You play solo enough, you have a pretty good map awareness of the mini map. So I don't. I mean, I played solo a long time, and I still always miss things. But
well, you're also partially colorblind, so
not just partially, but yeah, they. Gosh, I've lost like my entire main base before I realized. That was embarrassing.
We're not going to be advertising that fact out there because, you're supposed to have some idea what you're talking about. But
this was like years ago. It's okay.
Of course.
I don't do it anymore. I hope.
No. So the Lich is pretty close to getting level 6, which should be helpful for taking down some bases. It's also got pretty good stack here with 2 Claws of 9, a Claws of 12, the Orb of Corruption and Haste, plus the Potion of Invulnerability. Renaud is predictably hitting Juan right now. It'll be interesting to see when we get this first fight how Renaud is able to fare against Juan. He does have a pretty good army to fight what Juan has currently.
Yeah, and he's so close to level 6 on that Art Mage. He should have gotten it right there from pulling his heroes back, but he's going to get it right here from this other expansion.
Presuming that there's not a TP up. So close.
Just one more.
So Juan is actually not trying to save this, which is kind of interesting.
Well, he can't really because Persuade is sieging up his base again.
Right, I had not seen that.
Who's the non-map aware one now? That's what I thought.
I never claimed I was. I just didn't go advertising it.
So at this point, Renaud pretty much should have an easy win. Maybe not easy, that might be the wrong term, but he's in such a dominating position right now. It's kind of hard to see him losing.
Picked up another expo at Redkeekee spot. He's going to grab one at the one above, and he's currently building one at one of the 13,000 mines. And here comes Juan into Persuade. We'll see what Renaud decides to do. He might go for Juan's base, which I think would probably be a bad idea. If he could come in behind Juan right now, I think that would be much better, since going 2v1 against him seems like a more appealing option than fighting him in his own base.
And yeah, this is just as perfect as you could hope the game to turn out. If you're Renaud, he's got left expansions. He's got an expansion at the top. Juan is suiciding basically into Persuade's 100 or 80 supply army.
And here we go. Let's see how that TP was to his
Yeah, he
other
didn't want
base.
to. He didn't want to clump up all of his air right on top of the tanks.
Yeah,
is what
good
I'm
point.
assuming.
Alright, so let's see how it goes here. He does nicely web the Dragonhawk Rider to get some stuff out of web. But Juan is actually 94, and now he is food locked. So he's running into some of the same problems that Redkeekee ran into earlier. And he's actually badly food locked right now. And this is a great chance for Renaud to do some serious damage to Juan.
And this happens. Well, we have a big battle here. I'll comment on that in a second.
Down goes one worm. And Mountain King is getting very close to 6. The next unit that goes down should do it for him. And that'll really help him out here.
Yeah, Renaud is in great shape here. He's gonna, unless he makes a huge error and loses one of his heroes, he should be able to.
Here comes Persuade to just finish Juan off. So Persuade clearly is just in this for a little revenge right now. Although it does look like he's backed off. Maybe he saw the fight going on. Renaud is still at 98. Juan is down to 80.
And Persuade has this kind of habit of teaching people lessons. He's kind of like Lightweight, and I can't believe I just compared Lightweight and Persuade. Persuade's going to hate me later, but
there goes 6
it's true.
for the Mountain King, by the way,
yeah.
and nice
Ooh,
save on the Dark Ranger there. However, Renaud's heroes are pretty much indestructible at this point. The only weak one would be that Archmage, and that has the Amulet of Spell Shield on it.
Right, and it's got over 1,000 hit points also, with a Paladin nearby. Should be okay.
Although,
as I say that,
like
the Archmage is about to die.
Alright, and he does this time have a teleportation scroll on both of his heroes, so he doesn't have to worry about that.
Oh man, he doesn't ever use the Staff of Silence.
No,
like,
he
could
doesn't.
have. He could have killed that Dark Ranger.
He got the first step down.
Oh.
However, he's doing a great job of tanking Juan's base while this is going on.
That's true.
It's not the easiest thing to remember, but it certainly does help if you can do that.
Well, you just A-move the tanks. It can't be that hard.
I don't know. I don't play human. I avoid them. They're all evil.
Oh, okay.
I thought we had redeemed Renaud. He was doing so well playing his elf for a while, and he's gone back to his evil ways. And Dark Ranger goes down, and that Lich is going to be seconds behind
be killed.
It.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Juan rage quits. See ya.
And now's the time of the show to play the game. Do you think Juan will last the season, or do you think he's going to rage quit out?
I think he'll last.
Okay. I'll hold my judgment. This was only one game. I'm thinking he's going to get teamed out pretty badly in this week. I mean, he's got 3 incredibly solid free-for-all minded players, and that could prove very bad for him.
This is actually why I wanted to get him in the custom game. I wanted him to get a little experience before the league actually starts, and hopefully he'd be able to see kind of why he gets teamed out. Maybe he'll watch the replay or listen to the audio commentary. But I mean, it's different from solo. It is not a solo versus every other player. It is a strategic game with 4 individual personalities involved.
Right, and in most free-for-all minded players, if you just attack randomly, maybe I'm just biased, but if I see someone doing that, I kind of have a tendency to attack back, even if I know the person isn't the strongest. It's like I lose my free-for-all sense because I want to teach the person a lesson. It's like not good, and that's why it's a good way to lose games. But I don't know. I see that in a lot of people, like Persuade and Lightweight, and I don't know. I think Juan is going to run into it quite a few times in the season.
Renaud used to be the worst at that. Up, down goes the ward, and this is pretty much game over. For those wondering why we're not really paying attention to it right now, yep, there it is.
It's obviously, yeah.
But going back to that, Renaud used to be somebody that you hit him once, and he was on you for the rest of the game. We don't have very many players like that now. However, if you are playing like an idiot, then you certainly will run into people saying, well, you've completely blown my chance of the game, I'm going to make you lose yours. Which is a fair attitude.
It is a fair attitude, but I mean, if you just attack everyone, and Sexy's telling him right now, especially if you're the strongest, you can't just attack everyone because they're gonna team you. It's normal to think this way in free for all, and it's not really teaming. I mean, it is, but it's not like before the game they were all like, "Oh my gosh, let's team
or
him."
anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And even in this game, you saw they weren't even telling each other when they were hitting. It was just each person taking revenge on their own. So anything on the scorecard here you want to look at? I noticed Renaud they actually had pretty similar scores all around. Renaud and Juan both lost the most gold to upkeep. The hero levels were similar. Juan had 10 hero kills, Renaud had 7. I mean, looking just at the scorecard, you would think Juan played a pretty damn good game overall. It's not until you get into the nuances that you realize why it was that it went south for him.
Well, and he played a very good solo game. I mean, he won most of his fights. He had high-level heroes. He even managed his gold pretty well, all things considered. Mm-hmm. It was just knowing how to play a free-for-all that he needs to improve on. And what I mean by that is, he's here in chat, he's complaining that everyone's just going to hit him anyways. And that's not the case. If that were the case, the same people wouldn't keep winning free-for-all games. I mean, you just have to look at the seasons for the past, 3-4 seasons. You always have a few people who always do well. And even though their name is recognized and people maybe tend to team more against them, they still know how to play the game just frankly better than the other players.
Yeah, I mean, we've had players like Rain just float under the radar in games and win. Name recognition could get people worried about you, but it's most likely they're worried that you're going to go Rambo on them, as somebody described earlier. There really aren't very many players, in fact, maybe only Magadansky, who people really fear right off the bat and think, it might be a good idea to try and take them out early for that reason.
Right. I mean, I think of a few players. I think of like Sexy and Magadansky, even Human Star, are players that consistently seem to win. And I don't know. It seems like sometimes, every now and then, you'll see them get teamed, maybe at a time where they really shouldn't get teamed, but overall, they play the game well. And because of it, even though they have that name recognition, they can still fly under the radar sometimes. So that's a sign of a really good free-for-all player, in my opinion.
Yep, I gotta agree with you. I think we've pretty much wrapped up the analysis on this game. It was a quick one. It was pretty entertaining. Not the best example of free-for-all ever, but hey, we didn't have to drone on about random stuff. So there you have it.
There you have it. All right.
The Mage signing out.
And this is Mog.